All right, we're back. We left off in this very good chapter that when I was rereading, I was like, "Holy shit, this might be one of the best chapters in the series." So as a result, I did end up grabbing a lot of screenshots here because there's a lot of like cool dialogue and just amazing artwork in this Luffy versus Sanji chapter. And we're gonna shoot to go until like the end of what we would consider maybe Act 1 of this arc, which is the infamous food scene. But that's also as far as I've reread. So,
but man, you get to a chapter named Luffy versus Sanji, and you're just like, this better be as good as Luffy versus Usopp.
Which Oda has kept that naming scheme of Straw Hat versus Luffy, or the opposite.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how this is a little different. So,
and also, before we get into it, you know what happened this past week is we got a peek at the actors for the live-action One Piece.
Yeah.
And I thought they looked great.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this yesterday in the Wano talk, but it'd be cool to get Bradley's thoughts. I agree. Everyone looks great, right? I was just talking to Joe before we started. It's like, the one concern I have, Oda's on board, right? But Oda's also a goofball. So, like, he could have been talked into making it edgier and more serious than One Piece is. So it's like, that's my one, like, tonally is what I'm most concerned with, is that they go a little too serious, a little trying to grab too much of, like, a Game of Thrones, like, fantasy audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he does kind of have a personality of, like, I mean, yeah, whatever, as long as people are having fun with it.
He let 4Kids go through, and he lets the anime go through as it is. So, like, Oda's quality control is not the best, to say the least, right? But I think I'll be able to tell as soon as we start and we see the opening. If it's, like, something serious, edgy, I think it's bad. I also think they won't go, like, as colorful as the anime opening. So, like, maybe somewhere in between where it's, like, adventurous feeling then.
Yeah,
you know what?
I think we just need to see those first 10 seconds to get a feel, you know?
Yeah, and then, like, I'm also, like, when they introduce Zoro, I read, like, a leak script that may or may not be true. But, like, when they introduce Zoro in the manga and the anime, he gets in trouble because he's protecting the little girl who gives him, like, the rice balls.
Yeah.
In this leak script, it's because Helmeppo was just a douchebag in the bar. And, like, technically that's the same idea, but depending how that's written, it's like, don't cut away Zoro's humanity in the start there, because that's really important that he's just not serious, edgy boy. But, I don't know. Mm-hmm. We're talking about things, that's what like, we're not going to see this for another 2 years, so, like...
So...
That also makes, like, Zoro, like, different from all the other sort of edgy boys, is that, like, he is a human. Like, he does care for people.
Yeah. He's a good lad. All right. Good lad. So we open up with maybe the worst thing anyone in the Straw Hats has ever done, and maybe you will disagree with me. But Luffy straight up saying Luffy can't become the Pirate King because he doesn't have what it takes. No Straw Hat. Even when Usopp was beefing, he was like, Luffy, you're the guy who's going to become Pirate King. So, like, he says that in the fight. He's like, so I needed, like, prove myself and get the Mary, like, you're not gonna just abandon a crewmate, but never in that fight does he do this. So this is kind of Omega fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised he didn't just spontaneously catch fire or get struck by lightning when saying that.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Willer said Luffy said this to Luffy, not Sanji said this to Luffy.
Whatever, Luffy's rubber, whatever he says bounces off of himself. That's not how that saying goes, but yeah, like he packed like broken oath. He's about to get forsworn for saying like the unthinkable. So that's a.
I know. I was like, even though you're doing this to protect them, Sanji, I was like, that's still too far. You can't say that even as an act.
I know, and Luffy's been believing in Sanji. We were talking about last time this whole time. And it's like he's coming to a realization. It's like, you've been lying to me all along. And this is kind of interesting because lying to oneself is also kind of how Luffy has Sanji come around later when they meet again. So it's like, I don't know if he's saying that you've been lying to me the whole adventure or you've been lying to yourself. But it's a little bit, it could be both, maybe.
Yeah, it kind of works either way.
And yeah, like, this is the fight starter. And this is one of the best action panels, I think, in One Piece. Just because, like, Look how cool this looks, and how like Luffy's face is just getting caved in.
Yeah, and man, like everyone's expression just kind of works. Like obviously Nami is horrified, and man, like with Luffy, I feel like with most other opponents, he probably would have dodged such an obvious kick coming for him, but I think he's just in shock. Like he couldn't have dodged if he wanted to.
I'll give, if we want to power scale a little bit here, I'll give Sanji some credit. Sanji's known to be pretty quick. Luffy's been speed blitzed before, but I also like to think that this is, like, emotionally speaking, I can't believe you're actually hitting me right now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's more of a shock factor.
Then again, and I like, Oda does that thing where he, like, gum stretches Sanji's leg for impact sometimes, and I always like that. But then again, like, when Usopp and Luffy were fighting, Luffy didn't seem particularly surprised that Usopp was fighting back, so...
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that this is gonna ring different. I really like this, where, like, Luffy gets his bearing and then, like, starts nose beating. Like, that was a hell of a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it really hurt him.
And this is where, like, it really gets different. Luffy fought back against Usopp, and he didn't go all out, but he also didn't pull a punch. This is such an interesting scenario. Maybe we can talk about why this is. Luffy doesn't fight back at all this entire fight.
I think there's probably a lot of very good character reasons for it, and this isn't my sole reason, but it's one that I kind of like. I think back when Luffy and Usopp had their fight, what Usopp really needed was for Luffy to actually try to fight him as an equal. Because if Luffy was very casual about it or didn't want to fight at all, Usopp would just probably take that as like, oh, Luffy thinks I'm lesser, he needs to protect me, he thinks I can't handle myself.
And the entire basis of the fight was Usopp feeling lesser and like extrapolating that to the Marys, so you might be onto something.
But like, if you also think about it that way, like imagine like you like pick a fight with Luffy and he just turns around and says like, it's not even worth fighting for you because I know I'll beat you, kind of deal. That just cements that even more of that feeling. So Luffy knows that like, if I'm ever going to like try to work him back in, I have to give him the fight that he's wanting.
The thing is, I question how much Luffy understood Usopp's feelings that one time. Just because he was so visibly shaken, and like Luffy usually, when you're being a shit, like when Vivi was being unrealistic about her goals in Alabasta, Luffy will call you out on it and make a pretty good argument, and that's what he does with Sanji later. With Usopp, I think he generally was a little lost on how to be a captain at the moment, which was a theme of the arc. I think what's happening here, Usopp fought for his ideals 100%. And Luffy will fight someone ideal versus ideal. Sanji is lying to himself and does not deserve a fight. And I think that might be where Luffy's coming from here.
Maybe so.
That too. I think like Luffy, like it's the same kind of principle where like Luffy goes into it. It's like, this isn't worth fighting over because I know that you're wrong. And like, you just need to come to your senses.
Yeah. Even you don't believe you're right.
Yeah. It's just like, if I fight you now, I'm just going to push you further away from me. Where like the fighting doesn't change anything about how you actually feel,
and it's just so cool. Like it's a different fight, but like it's a completely different dynamic. And Sanji here, like you always insist on getting on your own way. That's true. That's Luffy. Luffy doesn't compromise very often, and it's kind of venting a little bit of the frustration, like one of Luffy's greatest positives, but also greatest negatives, which. Weighing someone's positives and negatives is something that's very, I think, apt for Sanji's character arc, and like kind of this arc in general is really a lot about weighing their positives and negatives and being true to yourself. So,
well, it's realizing that it's your faults and your strengths are what makes you. Especially when there's a scene that's much later in the arc. That's one of my favorite scenes.
We'll definitely get to it. Whenever like. Oda's such a masochist because he's doing the thing from the Usopp fight where the flashback is intercut with the action. That is so cruel.
I had that same thought. I was like, Oda's done this before, and it made me sad last time, too.
He's such a fucker. And like Sanji's getting fed up. It's you call this a duel, and like we were just talking about how this is distinctly different. But he's fucking going to town. Unlike like Usopp got some good hits in, Sanji genuinely battered Luffy pretty fucking hard in this fight.
Oh yeah.
And I mean he's the third strongest in the crew, so of course he's gonna put up like a real ass fight.
Like actually bleeding. Like we see it later. Like Luffy's significantly weakened after this fight.
He's fucked up. And like now power scalers will come in and be like, well, you see, Luffy hadn't eaten or actually he did eat a shit ton. So he fought for like 11 hours. So we'll give him a break there. That's interesting, actually. I think the fight was exactly 11 hours, and the Katakuri fight is like, okay, hold him up for 12 hours. So it's like one upping by an hour. But what's cruel here is that Sanji's finishing Luffy off with my favorite Sanji attack, which is Konkase. So that just hurts, man. And it's a flaming variant, so it's extra painful. But
extra pain.
I just love how this is drawn after Luffy gets hit, where like the foot stays on his head, and then Luffy like slowly just collapses.
That is good.
Look at these fucking like hills, man. Like
look at the Super Mario Brothers shit.
They're like, man, that was dramatic. This is a good art.
The one was like that. The other was like, yeah. The one on the left is super happy about it.
Man, One Piece is really good this week. But like Nami is like in just a couple of panels kind of steals the show a little bit by just walking up and slapping Sanji and sorry for overstepping our bounds. Like that hurt Sanji, in an emotional level.
Yeah. I also like Yanji's reaction. That chick is brutal.
Awesome.
Man, like that glare from Nami had me feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it hurts.
You should feel bad for being complicit and enjoying what's happening right now, okay?
Yeah. That's a stare that I think any guy who's ever dated somebody or has attempted to date somebody is like, you look at it like, oh, I've seriously fucked up.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Worth noting, speaking of Yanji being a bit of a pervert, we got a really good comment about like maybe the Germa kids lovey nature comes from the mom, and maybe that's how the mom hooked up with Judge, because Judge was just like a wealthy, cool scientist man that got a little over his head, and that's where the rift in their relationship was born. And we kind of had similar ideas when we were talking about it, but it's worth bringing up because I thought it was quite a good comment. So
I like the idea that she was a boy crazy mom.
And she saw Judge in his big ass chin, and she's like, "God damn."
Yeah, because I think that's super cute. But yeah, this is also fucked up.
This is like such a good panel where Sanji's hiding his face and holding back his tears. He's like, the scrunching in the bottom right panel. He's just like, Luffy, shut the fuck up, please, just go down.
Yeah,
but it's Luffy. He doesn't go down. Pause. Wait. Who DJ Khaled, that's the guy who doesn't go down. Okay, joke over.
Yeah.
What do you
and
mean?
Batman.
No. You're right, Batman does not go down and is like Luffy,
sadly
a lame person. What do you mean inferior pirates? Like Luffy's actually fighting back verbally here. He's like, everything you just said is bullshit. Do you really think this is gonna drive me off? Don't be stupid. If Luffy's calling you stupid, you fucked up.
The stupid boy called you stupid.
Also, worth noting, Luffy lost his fucking tooth in this fight, and it is genuinely gone for a while. And as I was rereading this, I went back and like looked at the Reddit threads of when this chapter came out. Which, Bradley, fun fact, that's a thing you can do now, because this was a time where there was a Reddit thread per chapter, so you could be like, oh, I wonder what the fan base thought back in the day.
Time capsule.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, because people were like crushed, and they're like, where's the arc gonna go from here? I can't wait for like Luffy and Sanji to fight Germa. Like, I can't wait for Luffy to grow his tooth back when Sanji gives him food later, and then Oda completely subverts that with the milk scene, but we'll get there. And yeah, like, you can kick me all you want, but you're the one feeling the pain. And like, this is emotional mastermind Luffy at the height of his powers. Oh, that is such a fire
Nobody draws crying better than Oda. I swear to God.
This is like, I remember reading this and like actually like feeling in pain for Sanji. Like, this sucks.
Yeah, this is fucking sad.
This is upsetting. Like, it just gets worse.
Yeah, because like Sanji's being forced into this situation like Robin, but he's like he's trying to be strong about it, while Robin wasn't trying to be strong about it. She just resigns her to her fate. So even different. Like, he's combining both the Robin and Usopp parts of the plot line and combining them into one. But it's so good.
I think part of it too is like, at the time, Robin just also didn't believe in the Straw Hats and actually caring for her, whereas like Sanji knows that Luffy cares for him and will literally die.
That's such a good point. Like, Sanji's been there since the start. Like, he's seen how much Luffy loves his crew, and now Luffy's yelling at you and verbally fighting with you. And once
think of all those times.
Hold on. Once upon a time, it was Sanji breaking up the fight between Luffy and Usopp.
Yeah.
And Sanji saying, Luffy, whatever you were about to say, don't say it because it's something you can't take back. And he just did exactly what he told Luffy not to do back then. Oh, the hypocriticism. It's delicious.
And then also, like, it's just, it goes against everything it's like Sanji's being, and just it's painful.
And I want to note the bottom right, because there's a very interesting theory about Luffy and Sanji's dreams kind of being the same. And the reality is, no other Straw Hat has joined their crew and bonded with Luffy because of dreams. Is that not weird when your main character is the biggest dreamer of them all?
Yeah.
Like, generally, Luffy befriends you as a person, and you kind of goof around, and he fights with you, and that's how he becomes your friend. With Sanji, he sees Sanji kindness. That's the first thing Luffy sees about Sanji, is the kindness he shows Gin. And Sanji's kindness is a huge part of this arc and his character, as we'll get to later. But then the second thing is they go outside and they talk about their dreams. So it's just kind of interesting that they're the only ones who kind of bonded in this fashion. And if you subscribe to the theory that the One Piece is destroying both ends of the red line to create one big ocean, that would be also how you create the all blue. So unbeknown to both, they both have the same dream, and they bonded over it way back when, and it never crossed their mind. And I mean, how could they know? They don't have time to theorize about this like we do.
So I also have a point about this, but we'll get to it like when we get to the panel, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is really good because Luffy ends this by saying, "I'll be waiting right here. If you don't come back, I'll just sit here and starve. I won't eat anyone's food but yours. I can't become the Pirate King without you." It's not I won't. It's like, Sanji, I literally can't do this without you. You are a very important person to me. Like, oh, that hurts. That's so good.
And man, it's so hard just because it's such a obvious subversion of the phrase we've heard so many times in the story. I'm going to be king of the pirates. He's going to be king of the pirates. Straw Hat's going to be king of the pirates. And this is the one time where it's like, no, without you, I'm not going to become king of the pirates.
The only other time Luffy's ever shown doubt in being able to accomplish his goals is when he was mind broken after Ace. So, like, this does not happen very often where Luffy has to, like, question if they're going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so good.
I want to also point out, so in the bottom right-hand panels here, we have the German kids, like, congratulating, or, like, they're laughing and joking with, like, trying to do that with Sanji here, and Sanji's, like, flashing back to them beating up on him. Yeah. And it's just like, and this goes like this. Weirdly enough, Bradley, like this aspect of Sanji's relationship has come up again in the current arc,
like this week.
Yeah, but it's just like, imagine the additional pain of like him having to like side with the people that have literally like abused him his entire life as a kid, and like just that additional like pain of like, I'm doing what they've done to me now.
Yeah, you know? Oh my, the subtext here is delicious just with that one panel. That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Again, this chapter starts and just does, like, till the end, it's 10 out of 10 page after page. So, good job. Also, a hunger strike in any other series is like, oh, wow, that don't do that. In One Piece, Luffy going on a hunger strike is, like, the most hardcore thing he's ever done.
Yeah, how full your stomach is like your key.
Especially with Luffy. Man. Yeah. So, we left off...
Yeah.
So, like, they send out the Big Mom Pirates, and you get this page. And the first time I read this, I was just like, holy fuck. Like, I know there's plot armor, but for some reason, like, this is feeling a little uncomfortable and tense because you see this many design characters going after Luffy.
I had the same thought. I was like, this many characters who actually have distinct designs? I'm like, you don't just walk away from that.
And people were also like, go ahead, Joe.
Just Oda the Mad Lad to do it too. Like, there's got to be at least like 10 dudes with the actual designs here.
Shit, if you look at the back, like
yeah.
So it's mentioned actually. This is Opera. He lets the Straw Hats escape later. This is one of Opera's quintuplets. This is another of Opera's quintuplets, and this is another one, and then one's just not in the scene. And that's just like how big this crew is. And you see all the little chest soldiers. You see two snake necks. Like there's just so much detail. All amounting to
long arm lady.
All amounting to Luffy about to get fucked. And Amande has like the coolest design. She looks so fucking sweet. And
I love it.
Bobbins is just the best. Like, Bob is the disposer. He's like, good.
I got a piece of toast on my face.
So fucking stupid looking. His weird face flap is so weird to me. I love him. He's great. So like while they were doing this back in the day, people were like, "Oh man, how's Luffy gonna beat them all?" Is like they were like, "Is Jinbei gonna show up and bail Luffy out of the situation?" And it's just delicious because I don't know if anyone could predict that Luffy is about to get his ass fucking beat, and it's gonna get ugly. But it's cool that it rains syrup here eventually. That's cute. But Luffy not even allowing syrup to enter his mouth. And Nami's just kind of sympathizing with him. And they're just kind of lost. Like, Luffy won't move. They know they can't stand here. They know they're going to probably die or get captured. And the conviction's too strong. They can't leave. We cut a little bit.
What's that?
We cut a little bit.
What do you have there?
Big Mom parenting.
Yeah.
And, she's just like, her kids are allowed to have knives. She's like, hey, just don't kill each other. Haha, we're all friends here. Like, I don't know what to say about this. It's just very interesting because it's like she knows all her children's names at least. So like Oda couldn't written this like one-dimensionally where she just like has babies as soldiers, but like she has a degree of care for each baby, but she's also so ruthless where it's like, all right, you're of age, fuck off and take care of yourself. You're a pirate now. So it's kind of a stressful family situation to say the least.
Yeah.
And we're going to heavily address that later in the arc. I do want to point out, this is a Tontada baby. So...
Yeah, I noticed.
And they look pretty young, so they were conceived not too long ago. So... Yeah.
Oh, fuck. How
do you suppose that happens? Not good. It's some Skinny on Whalelord action.
It's a big spelunking expedition.
Yeah. It sure is. I think this is the first time we get like a scale of how fucking huge this woman is when she's sitting on a table.
Damn.
And this is where One Piece is just the stupidest because like she's not a giant, by the way. Like there's much bigger people out there, and those are giants, and that's important.
Dude, I'm just like in one of the question corners talking about Katakuri. I think he's supposed to be like 16 foot 1 inch tall.
Yeah. I'm
like Jesus.
He's fucking massive.
And I'm like, two people who are both just classified as humans, not even special varieties like long legs. One of them could be 5 foot tall, and the other one could be 18 foot tall.
Yeah, and they're both human.
And I'm just like, that's weird.
I feel like Oda is going to address the size buffoonery one day, and it
has to happen
because like it's so out of hand. It's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
You cut off the green tea, black tea joke. That makes me sad.
The green tea, black tea joke is good, but I think the point here is that the way Sanji's looking at this food, everyone's just eating this food and like, yeah, eat me, it gets me off. Yeah, eat me. Like, but Sanji's like, this is a bastardization of like what I've devoted my entire life to.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like say it or think about it, but you can just tell from this panel that he's deeply disturbed by what's going on.
Yeah, I would be too. I like this fucking pancake. Am I good?
That's funny.
Like I said, this place is horrifying.
So, like, with everything building up, you see the army in the horizon, like, what a fucking panel as well, but, like, the level of tension rising is very akin to when Water 7, the rain starts falling and Robin's in the train, and everything is crescendoing. I got the exact same vibe, both on my first read and my reread here, where it's like, I don't know where, did you think Luffy would be able to get out of this situation, Bradley, or like did you think he would move from the spot? Like
he there has to be an assist coming in from the sidelines for this. Because like even if it's Luffy, I'm like, he's not taking on that whole crowd alone.
I know. It's like maybe like a full health Luffy would be believable, but even then they brutalize him so bad. I don't think he ever
this
had
is a crew of one of the 4 emperors.
Yeah.
And Sanji resigning to his fate. He ends his adventure here. And, you know, there's hope for our boy, because Pudding says, I won't let my marriage be held to you too. And they said that to each other. Man. And this is like the most wholesome shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, she's great.
For now.
I mean, did she still have you fooled? Because I'd still be fooled. Like this
I was still fooled.
I was 100% fooled.
Now, like, at worst, I suspected her of, like, she's gonna scheme against Big Mom, and she might do some things that get her in trouble, but I never thought it was gonna be like, oh no, I'm just actually, like, big evil.
Yeah.
She's been assisting us so much, and these scenes with them are so wholesome and cute. Oda kind of did a really good job at throwing us off the scent. And the juxtaposition of Luffy, like, fighting for his life while Sanji, like, gets a second wind in life as he realizes he has
you are
a
my
new
salvation.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
That, Oda's, like, on fire right now. 2018 Oda is just hitting different.
These panels just kind of look beautiful, both Luffy fighting and Sanji down there.
I know.
And I just love the image of their hugging, let's get married, and then it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, in hindsight, it's so dramatic that it's almost obvious, right? I didn't mention it the first time we talked about this. This year of publication of One Piece, when Whole Cake Island was coming out, was known as the Year of Sanji. So Oda went on record to say around when Zao was going on, he's like, next year is going to be the Year of Sanji, so please look forward to that storyline.
Let's go.
So that's cool how you advertise it that way. And I know the exact chapter that the Year of Sanji ends, and it's coincidentally where the Year of Brook begins. But we'll get there. I like Amande's design, like I mentioned, but also her attack of just cutting you very slowly is fucked up, but very cool. Also, King Bomb didn't deserve this, man. He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, he actually seems pretty chill for what he is.
And he's like, just finish me off. Like, they have emotions and shit.
I want to point out that I have the full page pulled up. He made a fucking wood pun to Armande. She said, we would never betray Mama. Like, W-O-D.
He makes so many puns.
Yeah, no, he always speaks in wood puns.
And this is far from the last time he's going to get totally fucked up. So.
Oh, yeah.
he gets it over and over.
King Bomb deserves justice because he didn't deserve this. So,
make him a playable character in Pirate Warriors 5.
I think he's in the background of a stage.
No way.
At the very least.
Yeah. He is.
In the Whole Cake stage.
Good.
So,
yeah,
like,
stage.
Luffy gets fucking destroyed here. And this page is just great, because, like, this, like, he gets distracted by a weird book illusion, and it just gets, like, from downtown tag teamed by the Opera Brothers.
Yeah.
And he's passed out in midair before he even falls. Like, it's rare to see Luffy get this whooped.
Also, both of these boys use hockey, so that really hurt.
Yeah. These are real punches. No rubber.
None of Luffy's defenses.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like the last time he got this whooped was Crocodile Round 1. Is that fair to say?
Maybe.
Even when he lost to Lucci in the mansion, like it wasn't this serious because Lucci just yeeted him out of a window. This is like a proper...
because he was still able to like pursue Lucci and stuff after that.
Yeah, he tore down like 2 buildings with his bare hands. What's confusing to me is this part where I think Luffy's brought into a book.
Yeah.
And then like, what is the cage part here? That's what I very like. This is very trippy. But I don't even mind that I don't understand. It's just like, it's so mentally overwhelming for Luffy where like, no amount of observation hockey could prepare him for like these kind of tricks.
Well, Nami's in this cage with Armanda, or whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like the precursor to them getting caged up in the mansion.
Well, they get taken to the book dimension after this.
Yeah. It's very weird. I don't know what the hell. Like,
I think he's in the book dimension in this scene, and Montdor is burning him out because that's how you escape it. I don't know. Maybe the anime...
Well, he drops them. He teleports them, so he's in between these 2 fools.
That's what happens. That's what it is. He traps them temporarily and then yeets them back out. That's so cool. Man.
Yeah.
And like all these like side characters have unique devil fruits of their own that will fuck you up, and they're just like side members of the crew.
That's the thing. Like, I'd be very disoriented. Like, if the crew of one of the 4 emperors is coming at you, you can probably bet a lot of them have devil fruits. So, like, you could just like all kinds of fucking weird shit could just start happening, and you would have no way to know like what's even dangerous.
And I think Oda saved a lot of really cool devil fruits for the Big Bomb Pirates, because for the for the Don Quixote family, he kind of reused 2 devil fruits, which was like the explosion one and the Tun one. So he made like variants of fruits we had already seen, and then a lot of the other members fought with hockey or like with fishman karate powers or whatever.
I think he really wanted an Emperor of the Sea crew to like feel like a whole tier above everything else that we've fought before, you know?
And I think I'd say he definitely got that across.
Oh yeah.
And so Big Mom, like Sanji's negotiating with Big Mom, and she comes off as really reasonable here, which caught me off guard. She seems pretty understandable. Now, I don't recall how truthful she was being, as I recall, not very. But
0%.
I certainly believed her, where she was like, no, Bradley, you're further than me in the reread. Was she like serious, where it's like, I'll let you go, I'll let the Straw Hats go, if you come to the wedding?
I think this was kind of bullshit. Like, I don't think she ever really planned for them to get off the island.
Because I think the plan was also for them to kill Sanji with the family.
The plan,
it is.
No, the plan's 100% to kill Sanji and Germa. What I'm forgetting, and what Sanji doesn't know, is that Luffy and Nami are in the book dimension right now. So, like, Big Mom already cast them captive, so there's no guarantee she would free them after the fact. And considering the fact that they would have killed Sanji, they would have probably just left Luffy there forever in the book.
Yeah. They were in the book cage.
Yeah.
It was a real cool prison. Yo!
So, like, this is their, like, big information briefing room, which is badass. But look how much information they have. Like, we needed Robin to decipher this, but Big Mom's information gathering is so good, and this is such a good, like, show don't tell, where they know about poneglyphs. They know about the 4 road poneglyphs. But also, interestingly, and this might be the first time we've ever heard this information, there's actually 9 information, like, essential information poneglyphs, and then 4 of those 9 lead to Raftel. So, as far as I know, we haven't actually brought that up before, that there's, like, some other really important poneglyphs that aren't necessarily the road poneglyphs.
So there's a diagram on the left-hand side, Willer. The 4 poneglyphs are different from those 9 in total.
Of them, 9 contain information by assembling and following them to the But, okay, then what is this? Of them, 9 contain essential informations by assembling and following them.
Let me show you the page, because I'll bring that up for you, because it'll make a lot more sense.
Yeah, but that'll fuck up the recording, so just read for me.
Yeah, so there are 30 poneglyphs in existence.
Shit, I don't even know if you knew that, actually. Yeah, that might be new.
That's, of them, 9 contain essential information. but and by assimilating them and following them to the final island of Raftel, you speak the truth to the world. This is some weird nonsense bullshit.
Oh, wait. Okay, what he's saying is, you have every poneglyph. If you have all that information and you get to Raftel, the context of the poneglyphs will change, and you'll understand what they're really talking about. I think that's basically what he's getting at. Where
it's these 9 that are like the really essential ones, and then you need these 4 to get to that location.
No, like he says. If you by following them and getting to Raftel, the stones will begin to speak the truth of the world. I think he's saying that Raftel contains the last piece of the puzzle that's in the poneglyphs.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man.
But it really,
I want to know
there's
what the fuck is going on in this world.
Yeah.
I know. there's such.
But in reality, you find 13 poneglyphs to figure out what the fuck everyone's talking about.
Something like that.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, like I saw someone say that like the Big Bomb pirates didn't come off as competent in this arc, and I gotta say I disagree. Yes, there's selfish ones among the crew fuck up, like Opera and Bobbins. They both crucially fuck up, and even when they fuck up, Montdor is like, I don't really believe what Opera just told me, so stay on the lookout anyways. And it's like, there's a lot of give and take because the Straw Hats also fuck up all the time, and so does the Alliance. Like, it's not an interesting story if everyone's perfectly reacting to everything. But given the fact that, like, intruders came into the island, and among the intruders, there's Beige the traitor, so that throws everything in a loop. I thought they handled it pretty well. And then once you get to the climax of the arc, I thought they were really competent when Big Mom starts going berserk and Katakuri's fighting Luffy. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Bradley, I don't know if you agree with that person, but I'm on team that these pirates are efficient.
Yeah.
Seeing this room for the first time, this like library / storage / treasure room, like that was the moment where it started kind of hitting me like how much of a powerful and global operation the Big Mom pirates really are.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Big Mom is. She kind of frenzies out, she can't do everything herself, but she has like a really gargantuan network of extremely powerful pirates working under her, and like it seems like nothing, like no knowledge or no treasure is outside of their grasp.
Yeah.
You nailed it right there.
Yeah. When I was reading this arc for the first time, like I read Dressrosa. And reading Dressrosa, I was like, this is obviously like Alabasta again. It feels very Alabasta like for multiple reasons, but also because like it just felt like Baroque works kind of again. And when we get to the Big Mom pirates, like it felt like this is what an actual fully developed, like nearly King of the World pirate crew is. Like, I got the distinct feeling of this is a whole different level the entire time reading it.
Give the Doflamingo Pirates some credit. They had a pretty badass network of weapon tradery.
Yeah.
They were more competent than Baroque Works, who barely know who each other are.
But this really felt like someone is not... whereas like Doflamingo might have been kind of like, I wouldn't say like stalled out, but like he was doing his thing with Kaido.
Yeah.
You come to Big Mom Island, and Big Mom is actively working towards something, it felt like.
Yeah.
Like, she is maliciously moving towards a goal that she has set in mind.
And Bradley nailed it, right? She's a force of nature that is uncontrollable, but her crew is so good and so broad that they can keep her in check and make progress. Like, when you get to this arc, you realize... She and Kaido must be the front runners for the One Piece, because the amount of information these like networks seem to get, like they know stuff that the Straw Hats had to like slowly piece together. So like they have just as much, if not more, information as Robin. So yeah,
and, I'm gonna go so far as to say that they probably control her as much as she controls them.
Oh yeah,
I think there's multiple places in the arc where. They'll deceive her or mislead her, and not necessarily like maliciously, just because they're like, we know what's best for her and for us.
Exactly.
We're not going to be able to explain it to her, so we're just going to trick her. It's easier.
As someone with a big family, with a big matriarchal structure to it.
Your mafia grandmother, we know.
Yeah, I know exactly what that's like.
Because it's like, it gets me like a Thor Burns versus Rose kind of situation where it's like all of the family combined together can rein in the matriarch, and that's just how they work. And we'll get that into very explicitly when like Paris Perros is doing his thing later in the arc. Shout outs to him. We get introduced to Smoothie, who is the last of the what are they called? Sweet Commanders. And goddamn, she thick as fuck. Well, that's true. Sorry, I forget that Katakuri lives in my mind 100% of the time, and he's not in the story yet. Yeah, she thick as fuck, and she looks cool.
He can squeeze the juice out of anybody.
Her fruit is fucked up. She shows it off here. Look at this woman. The woman seems to be into it though, so like there's weird kink shit going on with her squeezing. But
now she's gonna drink her juices. That's like
fucked
what the
up?
Fuck is happening?
Is that cannibalism? A little bit.
Wait, my name's Oda. This is the SBS. I got a letter here from Hokkaido, and it says, Oda, I made juice come out of me, but I don't have the juice fruit. What's happening? Answer it as Oda.
What are you doing, man? This is a magazine for good boys and girls.
Yeah.
Please put into a cup and deliver to this address.
Now, if you excuse me, I have to go squeeze some fresh juice, and that's.
Oh yeah, he would admit that.
Jesus Christ, he could never.
Yeah, she fucking the next panel over because I have it on the vids. She drinks the juice she just wrung out of that woman.
I'm gonna assume that every human being has a unique juice that she's not drinking like their sweat and blood and like excrements. She's drinking a unique juice that can be produced from any human being when they're put in the spell of this fruit, and that'll make me feel better. She's gonna have my unique juice. The thing about Smoothie, as cool as she is, she's very much backlined for a lot of this arc. And we'll get there when we get there, but that is a bit of a bummer.
Yo!
So Pager and Brooke are up to something, and I love this panel of them realizing what they have to do, and it's like, Pedro, will you be a decoy? And he's like, you motherfucker, I was just thinking the same thing. Like, they look so cool.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yep. Quick mission in and out. Don't blow yourself. All right, thanks. Bye. Y'all, okay. I don't care what anyone says. This is one of the cutest fucking cover pages in the entire story.
Oh, I did love it.
Oh, man. Kairos is so good. He deserves the world. Dude, okay. I forgot just how cool Chopper is in this arc. Like, he's not getting like a one-on-one fight, but he's fucking pulling some weight.
Oh, yeah.
And they even address the thing where it's like, yes, he could just shrink and get out of these chains, because if he didn't bring that up, this scene would be infuriating. But it is not. It's actually brilliant. Now, what is less than brilliant is they should know that Chopper was small, because when Brûlé was chasing him, he was small. So, dumb big moms here. I'll say that part. And we get to Big Mom's gross-ass book, which is very disturbing, where she just stores neat things. She's very much a collectionist. And the idea of Big Mom being a big child who gets what she wants is so much an important part of her character, but it'll probably be worth talking about more when we get to her flashback.
Man, you guys are right, where I know with the Vinsmoke family, we talked about like kind of the horror that could potentially come along with children who have the strength of adults. And I think one of y'all was like, oh, wait, that's relevant for other stuff in this arc, too. And, like, man, it's got to be Big Mom, right?
Yes.
Like, she, like, kind of had and always will have kind of a childlike mind, but in the body of, like, one of the strongest people on the entire planet.
And I think understanding that is key to, like, liking Big Mom as a character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we get the reveal that there are no giants in the entire Whole Cake Island, which is kind of weird when every race lives here, and Big Mom does not like that being mentioned. So
Yeah.
I'm glad someone
what
finally
happened.
said large humans in text, by the way, because no one's ever said that. I was like, okay, thank you. You guys are aware, right, that there's like a weird gap. Okay, good.
Like they're not fooling themselves.
Good. So yeah, this is really good because Big Mom drops this line of like images and everything. It's what's inside that counts. But it's ironic because this contrasts pretty interestingly with Whitebeard, the other emperor that we've spent a lot of time with, right? Where Whitebeard has this crew of a bunch of nobodies that forms a genuinely wholesome family, and it's a found family that really needs each other. Big Mom creates a family and forces kinship with herself and makes them soldiers and pirates. So it's like everything from the outside, Whole Cake Island seems so nice and pure, but it's very manufactured and it's very dark in a Dressrosa-y kind of way.
I wonder what would happen if Big Mom was eliminated from the picture. Like, what would happen to these pirates?
Oh, shit. That's interesting. I mean, Katakuri would become the new captain. And they would actually, I think they would be a force of relative good. I think they'd be pretty honorable. I might be wrong.
I feel like if this were to happen, we'll talk our theories later. I think. Yeah, I think it's worth saving that for a long time later. Remember this thing?
Did you remember the fucking tomate box from Fishman Island?
I did remember.
This is the most Chekhov's boxy shit I've ever seen.
I got so excited for like what's going to happen way back when. I don't know, ever since this thing was introduced, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a banger of a chapter when that blows up.
It's pretty pivotal, I will say.
Yeah.
Okay, so I completely forgot that like Big Mom is furious at Lola because Joe, were you gonna say something before we move on?
No, you're good.
She's furious at Lola because her marriage was going to be something Big Mom needed to take over the world. And I forgot who this was too, so I was like, who the fuck did she get engaged to? I think Joe mentioned that it was Loki.
Yeah, okay. I mentioned that it was while Bradley wasn't here, but there's the exposition page of them in the shower.
Okay, cool. I was like, was she gonna get engaged to like Akainu or some shit? Like, what's going on?
Oh god,
that'd be interesting. So Luffy is captured and talking to Big Mom. I think through is this face to face or through the snail? I think it was through the snail earlier, and now it's face to face.
It's through the snail. Yeah.
Oh, the snail's over here, and it just has her fucking hair. That's so deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's fucking talking that shit. It's like, I'm here. Lola left. It's no one's fault. You're the one who couldn't keep her. And yeah, I'm here picking another fight with you, and I'm gonna take Sanji back, and we're gonna fucking win. It's like, what kind of mad lad? You're in prison in a fucking book, and you're talking that shit. Like, applause. Applaud this man. He has no sense of reason, and I love him for it. Pedro's just awesome in this little sequence where he's making a distraction. He's just like showing that mink agility, and he's dropping bombs from the ceiling. And nothing bad will come of that plan of dropping bombs.
Never.
Wow. Okay. Speaking of panels that will be in best panels of One Piece considerations, this panel is so cool.
Pretty badass.
He's got a fucking stand. And they bring back the Soul King epitaph. It's not just like that's my name when I'm a fucking guitarist. Like, I literally am a king of souls, which plants into your mind that this is kind of interesting because he has a counter to Big Mom's fruit. And it's kind of been underneath our noses the whole time, but you wouldn't really think about it. So cool. Yeah. This is just they're talking about how cool it's gonna be when Sanji comes back, and like Niji's like, oh, I can't wait, we get to live with Sanji again. As he smiles like that, it's very uncomfortable. Like that's the dialogue of a true deranged bully, where he's like, oh, it's gonna be so fun being able to fuck with Sanji 24/7 again. And he's just like, it just makes you feel even worse that Sanji's getting into the situation.
Yeah.
Chopper goes Monster Point and gets even cooler scenes here where he's flipping this alligator and saving Carrot. So big ups to Chopper.
Has anything ever been a match for this form?
Monster Point, I would argue, is physically the strongest Straw Hat, right?
I think so.
Like, he picked up a fucking mountain cap in Punk Hazard and threw it at the cool Ice Bros.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Now, as far as being a match, like, he gets, like, outsped and thrown around in this form, but as far as power goes, Monster Form's still pretty cool. We learned that there's this beef between Tamago and Pedro, and Pedro. It's literally an eye for an eye because Pedro took Tamago's eye, and then Pedro had to sacrifice his eye in a scene we're gonna get to. And we found out that Pedro lost 50 years of his life earlier, so earlier in the arc, Pedro seemed to know a lot about how Big Mom does her soul stuff and kind of the rules of living here. And we learn it's because he's been here before. In the spirit of building up the tension, like rainy scenes in One Piece is when you know shit's going down because it's the same thing that happened in Enies Lobby. We get the scene of Reiju limping through the hallways with blood on her leg, and we don't really get the context to what happened here. I don't know if you had any theories yet. We'll learn pretty soon, but if you had them, Bradley, you could share.
Do what?
Did you have any theories on why Reiju was bleeding here? It was pretty mysterious when it shows up.
I thought it was just that time.
Okay. Sometimes it'd be like that. Luffy's on fire this arc, where like he's just dropping some really good truth bombs, especially like after the Sanji thing. And he's got a good point. Like while we're sitting here, who's gonna save us? We're losing everything. So let's just cut off our arms. Fuck it. We got to do something because honestly, he's right. Like he's a little crazy sometimes, but it's not like they're gonna get anywhere by being stuck here. It's very reminiscent of another scene that we'll get to shortly. So we meet Zeppo, which is Beppo's older brother, apparently.
Yeah.
So rip Zeppo. I just grabbed this one because Pedro's badass backstory where he's like, "Can you knock off some more time if I give you this eye? The day of the dawn of the world is nigh. I must return home." We'll talk a little more about the dawn of the world because sun imagery has become more and more important in the post-time skip.
Right.
And don't forget we're sailing on 1,000 Sunny. So I'm gonna connect all this in a later date. But also I grabbed
something Sun Pirates.
Something Sun Pirates, of course. They want to reach out to the sun. I want to also say that Legs Benedict is one of the greatest attack names of all time.
Oh, I love it.
It's incredibly inspired. And then we get it. We talked about if we suspected this or not, and I think we're as shocked as Sanji is, but look at that boy. That is a boy whose world just came crashing down.
We all saw this panel and we said, "Oh my god, that eye is so beautiful."
That's what we all said because we're all kind human beings like Sanji.
Yeah.
Now, Joe pointed out, but we saw actually Pudding in the first chapter where we saw Big Mom in silhouette, where Luffy's calling her in the snail phone. Pudding's in that panel, and so is this little slime. However, I think a lot of people didn't put it together that was Pudding because she had a different hairstyle back then. But it's kind of shocking that One Piece fans will comb through all of this, but I think they were still caught off guard by the third eye. Yeah.
Also, just proves the point that changing your hairstyle is a good way of protecting secret identity because the most like comb peeking, like the one fan group that will like pull apart every panel for information and.
That's all you need, man. This series of pages are godlike. This is so this evokes the feeling of the worst day of your life. Like you can put yourself in Sanji's shoes right now, and every single person will have been this low.
This killed me. It's like on every account, the worst possible thing that could have happened. And, you know, just a couple hours ago, he finally got the first lick of hope. Like, okay, maybe this won't be 100% bad, only 99% bad, because at least Pudding is going to be sweet to me. And then even that's taken from him. And it's actually even so much worse than he could have imagined.
And not only that, his family is going to die too. And, like, just... This is another panel that's for contention. And also, like, we've been talking about the growing rain, and Oda very, very intentionally lets the lightning finally drop. And, like, the crescendo of everything, like, the tension we've been building up to is this scene. This arc is incredibly well directed. Like, it's cinematic. But the panel structure is fantastic. Just the craft of making this is fantastic. And like, this page, you're my salvation. Let's get married. And we get this is the one. This is like the panel, right?
Yeah.
I think this is me and Joe's like potential S tier top 5 panels of One Piece.
Dude, that's the realest fucking looking cry I think I've seen in manga.
Okay, so like this is like a huge low point for Sanji, and as you kind of like, and like it's like a 3-step process basically throughout this entire arc up until this moment. So if you break down the Straw Hats, they kind of have like 3 fundamental things about them. They have like their dreams, their desires, and their vices.
Or gimmick.
Or gimmick, yeah. So like for Luffy, for example, dream is to become king of the pirates. His desire would be like to go on an adventure or to like have a family around him.
His desire, we'll talk about it way later. He's got his secret desire.
Yeah. And then his vice is like meat and sleeping, Same thing with Zoro, where it's like his dream is to be the greatest swordsman. His desire is like to fight and just like one up someone in a sword battle. And then his vice is drinking.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of has these.
And getting lost.
And then, yeah. And getting lost. But like, so throughout this arc, we start off at the beginning when Sanji kicks Luffy in the face. You get that flashback to the All Blue. And Sanji, that's the moment where Sanji decides, I'm going to give up my dream. Mm-hmm. But then gets kind of resurrected a little bit. It's like, well, I'm going to get my desire of having this girl. Because that's pretty much like Sanji's desire is a woman in his life.
Yeah, and also his vice is women.
Yeah, but the thing is that, like, now he gets this ripped away from him, and then his other vice, which is smoking, is also ripped away from him in this moment. He has
I like that take.
No way to like control the situation. He has no outlet to like funnel his like emotions. Like, think about all the other times where there's an emotional moment. It's always Sanji leaning down like this, having a cigarette where no one can see him. Like,
that's so good. Like Sanji going off in the corner and smoking when things are stressful. Yeah. That happens all the time, actually.
Yeah. So it's like this one moment, like literally the lowest moment of Sanji's life, and he can't even get the one comforting thing he does.
And it's because of the rain that was used to build up the tension. Oda, come on, man.
Oh, that's evil, man.
Yeah.
What a well-constructed scene, Joe. I really like that analysis. Yeah, he can't even go back to his last vice. He literally has nothing to look forward to right now.
Yeah, it's like, this is why like this panel, every time I see it, it's just like it's so destructive. Like, you look at this and you realize that like Sanji has thrown everything he's ever loved away, and the one thing he's able to hold on to, he can't even get, And
in his mind, it's like, well, if I go die tomorrow, at least I save Luffy.
Yeah,
and that's all he has left.
Mm-hmm. And right before this too, he made the bento boxes for pudding, but he made accidentally the crew's bento boxes.
Yeah, he made the amount of like the proportions that Luffy usually eats.
Yeah,
this string of chapter from 844 to where we're gonna finish today is just like arguably peak One Piece as far as like narrative and character goes. But this is a weird point to bring up, but he's also gonna change outfits soon. Sanji's outfit in this arc is so fire. With the half cape. Oh, I should have brought it up when he was fighting. Yeah, it looks fun.
No pun intended. Anyways, Axel, another panel for contention.
Yeah, this panel is so goddamn cool.
Man, like, I was already extremely intimidated by how strong I knew she was supposed to be, but then I see this and like, my stomach just sank even more. I'm like, I even without knowing what the fire and the cloud do specifically, I'm just like, I see this and I'm like, how can you hope to beat that?
So worth noting, this was the first chapter of I think it was the year 2018. thus ending the year of Sanji with this chapter and introducing us to the year of Brook, because oh my god, he's such an MVP this arc, and we're gonna really highlight how much of an MVP he is after he gets rescued from Big Mom here in a little bit. But he drops this fire line of, young lady, what kind of idiot draws up plans with the expectation of dying? This is good on so many levels.
Yeah.
He just called Big Mom young lady because he's technically older than her, so fuck you, young lady. Brook is an OG, dude. He was doing it before Big Mom was even a conception of a pirate. Oh, he's so cool.
Before she was a conception pirate?
Oh, wait. Literally, though. And he always makes his dying skull jokes, but here he's serious. Like, this isn't a joke. Who has the expectations of dying? No skull joke. This is, like, for realsies. Oh, so cool. Yeah. This is really cute where they do the mirror on the wall stuff and all the mirrors talk back. This is like that's a cool mechanic where the mirrors can tell you what they're seeing, and that's also how Brule gets around because she can do this as well. How do you feel about the insane amount of mirror hacks that are pulled in this arc? Like, they use Brule, like they milk this bitch dry. They use every ounce of usefulness they can get out of her.
I think it's pretty cool.
Smoothie doesn't have the juice fruit. Chopper does with the amount of juice he does out of Brule.
I'm just like, later on, I just had this great feeling where I was like, man, this current predicament situation we find ourselves in is only possible because of like 5 extremely unique abilities granted by Devil Fruits right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost like a plot convenience, but also like it's used. It's so fleshed out in the way it's used throughout the arc, and like the entire fight, the climax of this arc can only happen because of this one ability that was introduced back in the Seducing Woods. So like I like it is convenient that by controlling her they can go in and out, but also like it gives Chopper and Carrot like agency in the plot because they are able to do like espionage with the mirrors. There's great gags because of these mirrors. It's a great setting for the final fight. Like there's just all sorts of cool things that come out of the mirror world. Very cool ability that we get to see here from Pudding. It's one of my favorite abilities, especially how it's portrayed, where she pulls out a film reel out of your head with a memo fruit. And there's some horrifying things that come from the idea of like getting a piece of your memory erased. A Pact, for example, has like things where like someone's erased from existence and like your memories have to like collapse in. So it's interesting to think about like what kind of important things could Pudding erase from even the story. Like what if there's things from the story that we only find out way later that Pudding took out from even the view of the reader or something like that.
Man.
So there's interesting applications there. And also like it's used so sadistically. So the use case for this is she tortures Reiju and tells her the whole plan, and it feels really dumb and villainous, but the idea that she can remove the memory of telling the plan is just like sadism at its best, and it doesn't come off as stupid.
She's just doing this to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Man, I just kind of realized that she's gaslighting Sanji and then literally has the gaslighting devil fruit.
Yeah, she does.
Because she ends up using a soldier's memory to like replace that forgotten one.
Yo, speaking of MVPs, holy shit. Jinbei showing up and like from this point on, Jinbei is like sailing with the crew, which is awesome. Like he's sailing with us. He's gonna leave the island with us essentially.
Man, Jinbei's like conviction that Luffy will be the king of the pirates is just very like strong and admirable, because he knew Luffy for a very short time before basically like kind of committing his life and efforts to assisting Luffy.
That like Jinbei is arguably the person who respects Luffy the most in the entire crew, and he's been with them the shortest amount of time. It's interesting to think about. Because, like, he met Luffy in Impel Down, and when you go back through his backstory, you're like, Jinbei is so well connected in the world, and he's met so many people. And I think it's because he has the most knowledge of the big players in the world that he can see how Luffy's distinctly different from everyone else. Like, that's my headcanon on, like, why it makes so much sense for Jinbei to, like, he's seen so much, like, no, this guy is different. Like, this is the one. And, yeah, he's so loyal, and he shows up, and he saves everyone. So, yeah, this is mentioned here, where we saw Pudding earlier. She looks very cute here. We didn't know she was a horrible, evil woman.
Man.
Kindness with Sanji. So, like, I forgot this was later in the Brook fight, but I had to go back and get it. This is interesting because it's a slight callback. So here Brook's talking about Sanji's kindness, which, yes, Sanji can be, like, rude, but he's always been pretty kind. But it's easy to forget. There's only 3 Straw Hats, maybe 4, that know what happened to Zoro and Thriller Bark. One of them is Sanji. One of them is Robin, because she overheard Brook talking about, because Brook saw it as well. So Brook is the only one who knew that, like, Sanji showed up there and, like...
Oh, that's right.
Like, Sanji showed up and wanted to take Zoro's place in being the sacrifice in that arc. And only half of the crew knows that entire scenario even happened. So this just kind of hits a little different because Brook knows a moment of kindness from both Zoro and Sanji that the rest of the crew don't know. But then you also have to remember that in Punk Hazard, Sanji really goes out of his way to take care of Kinemon. Like, he straight up does not like... he does not like Kinemon in that arc, but he really goes above and beyond and, like... Nami takes ownership of the kids, and so does Chopper, and Sanji kind of takes ownership of making sure the Kinemon and Momo situation's ironed out. And I think a lot of, like, Brook tagged along for a good amount of that, so he got to see that side of Sanji being kind as well. So, I don't know. I just think it's cool that Brook is talking about this. He's been with the crew, aside from Jinbei, the shortest amount of time. So, it's interesting to see how Oda is building up his bond with the crew in pretty interesting ways.
Man, I just can't wait for live-action One Piece to cast Dan Avidan as...
Oh my god, could you fucking imagine?
I love it.
And then he's doing Ninja Sex Party Soul King shit. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna play a game. What's the callback in this scene? I'm gonna let Bradley go first. Nami says,
"Oh my god,
why do I feel like I've been through this before?"
So whenever you turn to this page, I was like, oh yeah, Nami's clothes have been falling into tatters for the past, like, 2 chapters. And there's even an SBS about it. I'm sorry. It was all I could think about. Man, what is the callback, though?
Joe, you can go if you know it.
I feel like this is back in Alabasta when they got out of the cage, but that might be wrong.
The callback is a scenario that Nami was in Little Garden, where she was stuck in the wax candle and Zoro's like, I'm gonna cut off her fucking legs and we're gonna go fight.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then they get lit on fire to escape the situation, and Nami's like, this is a weird deja vu, actually.
Okay, that is, like, a way more specific callback than I thought it would be.
It's pretty cute. I like it. So yeah, the plans are falling apart. Sanji's realizing that, like, the fantasy that he would get a nice wife and the Straw Hats would escape without worry and the Germa would be happy. None of it is gonna happen. And he's been living in a fantasy and he's kind of venting to Reiju. What are our thoughts on Reiju as a character so far in the arc? Because she really, like, stands out as the one good Germa. Good, quote unquote.
Yeah. Like, you could always kind of tell she was a little bit different, even from that first encounter on the boat.
Yeah. And the flashback made it explicit, like, she saved Sanji's life, but, like, it's just so cool that he has, like, a big sister. Like, Sanji's so, like, gross with women, usually, or, like, simping for them so hard, that he's able to look Reiju eye to eye and have, like, a genuine conversation with none of his antics, and, like, really vent and show a sensitive side, because, like, I feel like Sanji and Zoro both kind of explore toxic masculinity sometimes. So, yeah. I don't know, Reiju's like a good counterbalance for that.
I always think it's like she's like, it's kind of a weird point, like, of, like, if Sanji stayed maybe, like, and, like, had these powers, like, but kept his emotional side might be more like her. But at the same time, like Rachel's the oldest of all the German kids, so she literally has nothing else to compare life to other than this. Because she probably was like up and about and doing things when Sora was probably okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, definitely. She's the only one who got to really know their mom for very long. It wasn't even that long comparatively.
So it's one of those things where, like, you know, if she, like, you can make the argument like, well, she should just leave like Sanji, but like, where would she go? She doesn't have anybody else. Like, she's a German kid. She has fucking sixes tattooed on her thighs. Like, yeah, it's a weird thing where it's like, I would leave, but I don't have anyone else to go to.
Well,
kind of deal.
She mentions a little later that like she might not have the emotion reduced, but she has all the other enhancements, including not being able to say no to Judge.
Yeah.
So she makes it very clear. Here we get more kindness for Sanji, and she gives a really good line of like, "This is the problem with lasting impressions. I do one tiny favor for you, and you imagine you owe me some great debt over the years. Well, stop that." So she's like, Sanji, your kindness has its bounds, and you need to be realistic sometimes. But also, like, this is a cool edge from her, where it's like, I may not have all my emotions removed, but I'm still not very sentimental. Because I'm still a fucking war soldier. I'm still a mercenary. And she makes it very clear in the next few pages that, like, I deserve to die. I know that Germa's gonna die, and, like, I'm just gonna let it happen. We all deserve it. We're all awful people, and the world will be better if we get off in this wedding. Just run away while you can, Sanji. So, like, man, Rachel's a great character when you, like, piece together how different she is from her brothers and, like, these conversations she has with Sanji.
I also want to point out how emotional Sora is being in, like, this panel in the top right.
Yeah.
With them just saying, get better soon from Sanji, and she's just having a full breakdown, and Reiju and the midwife are just like,
This is reminiscent of Queen Otohime, like, having her crying fits. Which, man, Otohime, another great character. Good moms here. Now, so, like, I think another part of this is Sora is just glad that Sanji has any emotion. So for him to be this sweet really gets to her, because she sees her other 3 shitty children that are weird colored hair bullies with superhuman powers, and she's like, her sacrifice came, like, it was worth it. Like, so, like, Sanji is Sora's success. Like, he's Judge's failure, but he's her success, and I think that's really beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And Mother gave her life in resistance to protect you and the emotions you were born with. It's why you were born kinder and gentler than anyone. So, like, really bringing Sanji's, like, sensitive side full circle and really giving it some weight with Sora's sacrifice and kind of capping off the flashback from earlier. So,
the chapter is also called Germa's Failure, by the way.
Nice.
And I think it's a really good fitting chapter title.
Oda's deceptively poetic with these chapter titles.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's Germa's failure, but it's Sora's success.
Yeah, like, but he doesn't, like, he didn't call the chapter Sora's success. He left that bit hanging for you to, like, piece together yourself, which is pretty neat. So she released him the first time from the cage. And now, like, it's cool because Reiju's releasing him the second time from Sanji's own mind. And something that was happening back in the week-to-week reads, as I was going through these threads, is, like, people seem pretty pissed that Sanji wasn't acting. Like, they were like, Sanji, stop, like, do something about the situation, stop, like, giving in. Well, when I'm reading, I was like, fuck, Sanji's fucked, and this is super compelling. But I guess on a week-to-week read, they got tired of, like, maybe seeing Sanji, like, not fix the situation. But either way, it was a mental barrier that he had to pass because he didn't see a way out of the situation, but Reiju gives it to him here, and it's just nice that she frees him twice. You have those wonderful friends, and you're never going to meet people like them again. So when Reiju let Sanji go, she said, go find people that will, like, truly love you and people who will be kind to you. And it's cool that it came full circle. It's like, You met them? Now what are you doing? Like, keep them.
I just want to say, there's an SBS question above here that says, "Why doesn't Sanji get hard eyes with Reiju?" I'm just like,
It's Japan, bro. Have you ever seen an anime before?
It's just like, I don't like that this was a question that had to be explained.
Oda's like, I think I got too many of these. I like this just because it's like a little power scaling of the Straw Hat's speed in particular. So that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
We got Brook first, then Sanji. So Sanji's faster than Luffy. I'm guessing this isn't counting like gear or like using shave or anything like that. Chopper's got his reindeer form. And I like how Frankie's the slowest because he's a big bulky motherfucker. I also like how Robin is like 6'2", so she's just a tall ass woman, so she's not going to be the most like coordinated.
Like
runner.
I could see her just saying, "I don't run."
Yeah. That's the meaning to my humanity.
So we talk about this voice of all things that Roger has. It was an ability that allowed him to read the stone. Interesting, because I don't know if we've heard that Roger was understanding the stones with this voice of all things, but it's also not the first time we've heard of this. I think it came back in Fishman. It came up in Fishman Island. And of course, in Zao, there's this like kind of voice of all thing moment where Luffy and Momo can both hear Zunisha, but no one else can, and Zunisha is like straight up communicating with them. And then if you want to stretch it a little bit, way back in Alabasta, when Zoro can hear the breath of all things, and that's how he gets the ability to cut metal, which is still like such a abstract scene to this day. It might be kind of tied into this concept of voice of all things, but I guess we'll have to see. It reminds me a little bit of like how in Shadesmar and like in Stormlight Archives, all the little beads correspond to like an object in the real world, so like everything kind of has a soul, including inanimate objects, which I believe is. I think that like spiritual belief is called animism or animism, something like that.
And you know what? We also know ships have their own spirits.
True.
Yeah.
This
Kabouterman.
That feeds well into Kabouterman. Speaking of, when Sunny's Kabouterman, I'm just saying.
When's it gonna drop?
If
you know
this
what?
is
That's another character who's gonna show up in the next big Paramount War. They're gonna come out with a big hammer.
Oh, that'd be fucking sick. I mean, there's the theory that I think we've talked about where the Sunny is the Pluton. I mean, we might have talked about this with Tyler and not Bradley, but if the Sunny is like the blueprints for the Pluton and like the Kabouterman's the pilot, that'd be some nutty shit that we'll see in 3 or 4 or 5 years. But yeah, Big Mom has a secret weapon, which we find out later is pudding, or soon that it's pudding. So that's interesting. Tamago straight up turns into an egg, which makes this one of the weirdest fruits of all time. Where every time you crack Tamago, he births another form of himself from his egg exterior. It's weird as shit, but it's very unique. This is a cute gag where Kara draws like an image of the Straw Hats so that they could be found, and she draws them in this cute Bishojo style. Brooke especially looks so good. I like how Nami looks like Cavendish in this art style. Reiju has a little talk with Luffy. He's still being stubborn. He finds out about the hostages in the Baratier, but Luffy runs off to the spot where they're gonna go. Can I lick the syrup off of Nami's body? So, I don't know how, but Bradley, before starting One Piece, sent a question in? And he named himself Chamorro? It's kind of weird. How'd you do that, Bradley?
I don't know. I just love it when Oda posts these ones that like they're not even clever. They're just like I just want to do something super perverted.
Yeah.
Oda's a perv himself. Like, of course.
He drew the character. He drew that panel. He knew what he was doing.
One thing that was confusing to me about this scene is why is Nami like this? Why is she like being propped up?
She's holding her hands up because Armanda is next to her with a sword. She's surrendering.
Is that it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to bet.
Yeah. She's like, I can't fucking fight these dudes. Yo.
Fantastic cover page. One of the all-time greats.
I want that on the shirt.
This is just some funny shit. Nami turns around and zaps some people, and then she's like, "Oh God, it was Chopper," and her face here is just very cute. Good guy. This chapter is hilarious, by the way. It's the chapter where they have to rescue Brook.
Oh my God.
They're going over the Germa plan, so this is where we formally find out that they're going to kill all the Germa. This is when, very notably, Opera does not let it be known that he let the Straw Hats get out, which is going to be the undoing to a lot of the plans. But but also notably is continue patrols through the night. I can't trust Opera on this one. So even though like Opera fucks up, each character in this crew feels like their own distinct person who are selfish and team players in different ways and in different varieties. So it's a very lively crew where they don't feel samey, which I think is really impressive for how many characters there are.
I also think it's like an important aspect of like, you know, it's better to hide your faults in the Big Mom crew and hope something covers it up rather than admit to doing something wrong. Because like he's afraid that something will happen. Mom will literally kill me.
Yeah, image is so clearly such an important part of the Big Mom operation. Where like also the image that we have things under control. Because here, like they're having this cool meeting where they're going over like, where is everyone? Okay, so we saw Chopper and Carrot get killed and boiled alive. Okay, we're good. These two are trapped. Yada yada. But then also like. There's a point where Smoothie's like, okay, lock off anything underneath this floor, because we know for sure the Straw Hats aren't above it, and then just don't tell Mama that there's shit going on down there. Like, we'll clean it up by the time she finds out. Like, that is so emblematic of how they operate. Like, don't stress out Mama. We can handle this ourselves, yada yada. This is where Sanji realized he cooked too much, but what is he going to do with his food? He realized pudding's awful, so... what can he do? And then fucking Bobbin shows up and tries to pick up some of the food, and Sanji kicks him through the fucking wall. He's like, not for you. And Bobbin's like, what the hell are you doing? And Sanji's finally snapping out of it. He's like, what am I doing? And he finally takes action. And I think, like, Sanji's inaction served well to make this scene really stand out to me. Because it was a long way to get him to finally get to this point where he's like, I know exactly what I have to do to fix this situation.
Yeah.
Fuck! I clicked away. Hold on. Where were we? We're very close to the end. Okay. Just screw Oda. He sets up this little thing where it's like, all right, I'm going to take Doflamingo's glasses off. And at the end of the volume, we get back to the SBS, and it's just another pair of glasses underneath the first pair of glasses, which is just hilarious. Also, this was also hilarious. Someone's like, Oda, there's an extra pair of hands in the father and son sake cup scene. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's just this old lady who showed up and wanted to drink with them. It's just, the sense of humor on this man is just something else.
Old hag 88.
Big Mom literally slept with Brook. And this is just the goofiest shit. Big Mom is cool because she can be played for horror and laughs. As they're like trying to find different ways to rescue her, and they're doing multiple attempts as she's rolling over and slamming the ground, and Zeus and Prometheus and Napoleon are killing everything as they show up. It's like, how are we supposed to feasibly save him? And I forgot how they actually do it. Yeah, they go through multiple attempts. Like, this is just some Charlie Chaplin comedy right here, which is all physical comedy. And it's cool that Nami's the one who does it because she's like the master thief. It's a combination of her and Pedro, I think. And they drop this fake Brook. That's what it is. They swap him out with a fake Brook, and then Big Mom just sleeps with the fake Brook. And we get this scene where we find out that Brook didn't fail the mission at all. He casually had the printing of the Poneglyph in his head.
Yeah.
God damn. How useful is he?
This was a cool reveal. And also, what else is cool is that Brook's head compartment is something we've known about since Thriller Bark because that's where he stores the dial of the last performance of the Rumbar Pirates that he's gonna one day play to Laboon. So it's just crazy that little head compartment came back in like actually a pretty plot relevant way. And yeah, here's your copy. So, anyways, it speaks for itself. Like the faces the Straw Hats do here are just absolutely hilarious. And Sanji finally he goes back to the spot. Luffy fought off a bunch of dudes, but he's here exactly where he said he would wait. How like. That's just good writing, man. Hey, I'm gonna be here no matter what. I get captured. I'm gonna go back to the spot because Sanji might come back. Like the belief that Sanji would come back to this spot, and the fact that Sanji finds him in this like pile of corpses because of the stomach growl, and then he gets this stupid smile. It's like this smile is so like well drawn because it's so pathetic, and it's just like there's my fucking captain. He looks like a goddamn mummy.
If Luffy tells you something is going to happen, it's not just a promise, it's kind of a prophecy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, he will make sure it happens.
He writes his own story.
Yeah.
Judge, weirdly enough, we don't get to see the top of his head. Are there any theories as to why?
It's snaky.
He has the little Majin Buu symbol from Babidi on his forehead.
Yes, you got it.
Oh, it got copyright strike, so he had to cover it.
So...
It's actually a swastika carved into his head by the Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah, he's the Inglourious Bastards guy. So did Sora have the curly eyebrows?
I think so, right?
Okay.
I don't think she did.
Because if she didn't, I think what we're hiding here would be the curly eyebrows. But I think she did.
I might have got her face confused with Reiju's, but I think she did.
I'll look up Sora real quick.
I think we're all thinking of Reiju.
No, she doesn't have them.
So so he must have some sort of swirly eyebrow. You know what, Bradley? I
bet they're swirled on both sides.
That could be it.
Guys, the eyebrows are swirled through bloodline elements because it makes them better at fighting. The swirl makes their
hold that thought.
More aerodynamic.
Hold on, Bradley. First of all, have you noticed that Sanji's eyebrow swirls in the opposite direction of his brother's?
They go the opposite direction?
Yeah. So the swirls counterclockwise and clockwise, depending on if they're a failed experiment or a proper experiment. Now,
so if we flopped his eyebrows, he would get stronger.
That's true. So if he gets a good barber, he would probably get those genetic enhancements that he was missing. But he might lose his emotions, so we don't want that. However, you know what else is swirly in the story? Devil fruits. Very deliberately have swirly patterns.
Maybe there's just like an inherent power to spirals. This is Uzumaki, dude.
But yes, but also the German kids have straight up like devil fruit-esque superpowers through their genetic engineering. There's definitely a theory that says that part of the human cloning project that Judge took place in is kind of linked with the devil fruit research that Caesar and Vegapunk were working on, where they take trace elements of the devil fruits and inject it into your DNA. And that's why the kids can inherently do elemental powers. And I don't think that's a stretch at all, considering like we literally had a huge arc about people doing experiments on devil fruits, right? So like they're sequencing the devil fruits and like the human genome. So if that's the case, maybe these swirly eyebrows could be a indication of devil fruit enhanced genes or whatever.
Dude, I think there's something to it.
But then it wouldn't make sense for Judge to have it. So maybe the swerve is that Judge has normal eyebrows. And, like, you would expect them to have swirly ones because someone, between the mom and dad, one of them has to, right? But then you find out that Judge doesn't, and it's like, well, blah, 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 swirly eyebrows equals devil fruits. Anyways, that's just the theory. Luffy looks so goddamn goofy in these panels and so pathetic. Yeah. It's fantastic.
But he does the same thing that Sora did.
Oh, thank you. You took it right out of my mouth because he eats the shitty food, and he's like, that's delicious.
Oh, that was so good.
And he's healed now. Like, he's not even a mummy anymore. He just had to eat the food. but the tooth is still gone, notably. So Sanji drops 3 reasons why he still can't leave with Luffy, and Luffy finally strikes back because now, and you know what, this kind of fits in with how we started this conversation. It's Sanji's finally actually talking about his emotions, and Luffy's like, okay, now it's time to fight. And he punches Sanji immediately, now that we're like really getting to the thick of what Sanji really feels. So you know what? I think that might have been on the money, and that might be very intentional. And this whole theme of emotions is pretty relevant when the Germa kids have no emotions. And he finally drops the fantastic line of, tell me how you really feel. This is another fantastic panel and page.
Oh, yeah.
And Sanji finally lets it go, if it'll load. I want to go back to the sunny. Oh,
this is his I want to live moment.
It really is. And it's not a loud moment. It's just between the two of them in a rainy plain with a bunch of knocked out Big Mom pirates around them. It's like we just did 12 chapters that perfectly built up to this moment, which is why we're going to end it around here. That might be the last picture. Actually, the last one is Luffy saying that it's fine that you're feeling these things and that you feel bad about wanting to stop the ceremony because that's who you are, Sanji. Like this is the emotional mastermind at work. This is like the clearest sign that Luffy's the fucking villain of the story, just saying exactly what needs to be said at all times. It's just like really good theming, and the fact that Luffy's always been so in tune with people's emotions, and you have this arc about Sanji and his emotions and the lack of emotions with the siblings, and Luffy can just see right through all that bullshit. Which leaves us with one last little SBS thing to talk about, which is something I did notice, where Nami puts on armor for a single panel because she's afraid of fighting Big Mom.
Yeah.
And then next panel, she doesn't have the armor. It's like, that is such a visual gag that 99% of all readers are going to miss. Because I certainly didn't catch it.
Man, I feel like Oda challenges himself to make gags as hidden as possible. And time after time, just get surprised that people actually spotted it.
He challenges himself to just create the best manga he can. And
yeah, you know what?
By God, he does it. So, if you have any wrap-up thoughts on this section of the story, Bradley?
Whoa. Man, all I can think about is how exciting the next section is.
I know. That's the thing. So, like, this section's very character-driven. The next section's very, like, plot-driven, but you still get, like, a bunch of, like, cool Big Mom character stuff. And then when you get to, like, Luffy versus Katakuri is, like, the prime example of how Oda tells a narrative through combat. So I'm very excited to talk about that. But that puts us at about, what, like a third through the arc? But I feel like these were some of the slower talks because we were talking a lot about this. Like, the setup of these arcs always go by faster. So we should be on track to finish this in, like, maybe 4 or 5 videos. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Because what Dressrosa was 5, and that was a longer arc, wasn't it? So,
I think so.
With more characters. What's cool about Dressrosa is that, like, it has a lot of characters, but a lot of the focus is on the Straw Hats, which helps us kind of condense these conversations. But, alrighty. Joe, do you have anything to say?
No.
Oh, wait.
What?
You know what, Bradley, if I can borrow you for another 5 minutes.
Oh.
I want to show you the volume covers that you've been missing.
Oh my God, you're right.
Let's do it live. Yeah, okay.
Yo.
So I think we were on One Piece volume. So I think I showed you 81.
Yeah, I'll see what we got here.
Which was the Minx.
Oh, these used to be the best.
All right, this is our new bit we're going to do.
Yeah, because this is something that's been sorely missing is Bradley's reaction to the cover pages. So we saw this one.
Oh, I would have seen that cover and been like, what the fuck is all this furry stuff? But also, it looks super hot.
Vivi!
Oh, yeah. Oh. Why is Vivi in this one? What the fuck?
Because they had the brief flashback to her going to the reverie.
Oh, that was so minor.
That girl.
She's
so good.
I need full screen ones.
Carrot could never.
You can't.
Hey, dude.
Carrot will never be Vivi, okay?
Oh, wait. No, I'm an idiot. I can open image in own tab, right? So we have this one. Oh, that didn't go very well. I think you saw that one.
I would have seen that, and I would have been like, what the fuck? Her head is pink.
And then I think this will get us to 84, which... Open image. Fuck, hold on. Open image in new tab. Let's get this big... Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, their fucking hair color.
Yeah, okay, so this would have been the first time we realized they have fucking colored hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but it is definitely a shocker. Like, I expected them all to be blonde.
Mm-hmm.
They got Reiju, huh?
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a well-constructed one. Because this is the one we just finished. And
notably... Judge is blonde, though.
Judge is blonde. So blonde is their original hair. So yeah, this is worth mentioning. Their hair colors are this color because of the augmentations. So Sanji's color would have been something different if not for him being a failure. Do you have any predictions what his color would have been, actually?
I'll give you a hint. You've already seen it before.
Has he?
Yeah,
even yellow because we have red version, green version, blue version, yellow version.
He saw it last year at Halloween.
Oh God, Joe. And then we get this one where it's the crew breaking out. This one's really pretty. I love Soul King in the back.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of crazy stuff on this one. Just looks cool.
It's just nice because you get to see all their outfits in color. Jinbei's suit, like you could never predict the color of Jinbei's Hakama in any given arc.
Oh no, I like it though.
Yeah, it looks nice. And then maybe we can do 86 as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna put this in the video. This is the teaser for the next time, Bradley. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen, but take a guess. Caesar's back. Whoa. This one's neat. This one's a very fire tank pirate focused one. And we're gonna talk about it, but it's just cool that Beige gets to be like the extra third party that is focused on in this arc. He's the law of this arc without taking up as much time, or being like as integral of a character, but still like.
God damn!
He has
I wonder what Law and Zoro are doing right now.
Oh, dude,
weird samurai shit.
Yeah, they're doing weird samurai shit. That's all I know.
I like Luffy with the hat on the hat.
Yeah. That's the thing also. You might not be able to tell because I think it's colored in all black, but Luffy wears like a red suit in this arc. So that's worth noting. And Sanji's wedding suit is white, so that's also worth noting. All right.
Is that skin in Pirate Warriors Flower? I think it is,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. You can get you can get 2 skins for Sanji in that one. All right.
If you pre-order it, you got a third. It was great.
Alrighty, we're actually done now. Goodbye. Go away.
Bye.